What were they saying about terraforming Mars again?
About the different... Because someone said you could bomb it with nuclear warheads. And that would start...
Oh, didn't Elon Musk say it?
I've been a big proponent of just crashing meteors into everything. Crash one into Venus, crash one into Mars, crash one into, like, the moons of Jupiter. Just see what happens. One of them
Eventually the aliens were like, hey, what the fuck are you doing?
Hey, man, we just want attention. So, because I'm saying, like, supposedly in the past of the Earth, a meteor hit, or a comet, or asteroid, or whatever,
And that's what
flying big giant rock hit us.
That's probably where life came from, right?
Yeah, and basically it blew up the Earth, turned it into the Earth and the Moon, and then...
That was some crazy shit.
And then us.
The end.
So, like, it feels like the most logical thing to do is to shift asteroids or comets or whatever out of their orbit a little, preferably ones filled with water, like
Right.
comets tend to be, and just crash it into planets. One of those planets has to become livable after that. You crash a bunch of water into it.
You crash them into Mercury. Turn it into one big giant sauna planet. That'd be pretty cool, right?
So basically, crashing asteroids into stuff is my answer for everything in space.
That would solve all the problems.
But on the Skeptic's Guide, they were talking about someone suggested launching nuclear warheads at the ice caps of Mars to melt the ice caps. Which is all well and good.
It sounded like, in theory, it'd work.
Well, the thing, like, if it just got rid of all our nuclear warheads from Earth, that seems nice.
Yeah. We really don't need that many.
We have our hands full as it is. Because, like, just like how I feel like, you know, when they're like, okay, no one builds nuclear weapons anymore. I promise. like, didn't it feel like everyone said that? Like, every country that can build nuclear arms was just like, yeah, we're just not going to tell you about it now.
And I bet we have nukes out the ass.
So I'm sure as soon as we send all our nukes out, like, every country's going to save a couple still anyway. Like a bunch of assholes.
Just in case.
Oh, they want to think that we shot all our nuclear missiles into space.
No, but didn't they say that would take, like, a few thousand years for, like, the atmosphere to, like, coalesce into, like, habitable atmosphere?
Yeah, and, like, apparently they said it would take, like, hundreds of years with the nuclear warheads. Which isn't very fast at all, so just crash the asteroid in it, like I said.
I get the feeling that would take a while, too.
Yeah, but if it's going to take a while, I might as well do the one that doesn't leave all the nuclear radiation everywhere.
That's true. What if there's, like, comet radiation?
But that's natural radiation. It's okay. It probably helps your, it makes your skin softer. It helps with memory loss. I know that Mars has some crappy moons that aren't even, like, moon-shaped. Like, how do you account for that human experience? Like, humans have been looking at the moon our entire lives, and then you send us to Mars, and we have to look, like, at some ugly-ass moons?
Why does your internet suck?
Can't that, like, affect your psyche? Look at that ugly, misshapen moon. Something's not right here.
I don't like it.
Because don't you think about that, like, when you go to another planet, like the oxygen and the gravity and all that good stuff. And then just, like, the small thing, like, looking around and all you can see is fucking red dirt.
Yeah, it does sound kind of depressing.
Someone plant some trees on Mars? Jeez. So ugly. Alright, well, one thing I wanted to say about terraforming Mars was that Neil deGrasse Tyson had made a really good point that the fact is there's a lot of places on Earth where we don't even live yet.
That's true. Instead of terraforming Mars, why don't we terraform Antarctica?
Yeah, just imagine us rolling out those rolls of carpet grass, like in the middle of the Sahara. Let's try that first.
I can see, like, as soon as it rolls out, like Futurama style, some golfer comes out of nowhere.
I imagine that, and then, like, as soon as he makes, like, his putt, all the grass turns brown and then dies.
Because it's that fucking cold up there. Or down there.
Or hot, or whatever. Doesn't matter.
What are we talking about again?
Anyway, yeah, let's start living at the bottom of the ocean first. When did we get off track from that? Oh, boo-hoo, water pressure. Deal with it. Science and shit.
Maybe the scientists got too freaked out by all the weird-looking fish down there.
Yeah, dude, the deeper you go, the weirder it gets.
Like, nah, let's not go. Or maybe they found the fucking giant squid, and they're like, stay the fuck out of there. But
They
people
did
don't
find a
need to
giant
know about
squid.
it.
It's giant as hell. It has hooks for hands. It's terrifying.
Huh?
No, really, like, look it up. Like, the giant squid, each of its suction cups has a hook inside it. So it's not just, like, some hilarious sticky toy. It's a fucking death machine. And no one talks about the hooks.
Why have I never heard about the hooks
every,
before?
Think about every suction cup that a squid or an octopus has on its arms.
And I eat that shit too.
Yeah, and you don't get any fucking hooks in your mouth. Who's fishing for who now?
I may have fried you, little squid, but you got the last laugh.
The war ain't over.
Oh, shit. Oh, yeah, we should be like fucking Sea Lab, dude. Like,
Well, you don't have to put it at the bottom of the ocean. Put it in the ocean. It's like off the coast or something. You don't have to get all, like, fancy right off the bat. But if you go to Mars, you gotta go to Mars. There's not, like, a nicer place on Mars.
well, you don't have to deal with tons and tons of pressure bearing down on you.
But you also have to go really far
Yeah.
for supplies. And at least water is part oxygen. And it's water.
That's right.
It's two things that are missing from Mars.
Yeah, that's one thing you'll never hear on an underwater station. We need water.
Water everywhere.
So let's all take a drink.
Oh, well, Big Picture Science was talking about facial recognition. And that was, like, there was a guy who's been working hard on facial recognition and talking about how good and useful it can be. But, like, all of his examples sound like they can be terrible and used for evil.
Well, anything can be used for evil when you think about it.
Well, yeah, but, like, this guy was trying to say, like, this is benign science, and it's not gonna hurt anybody. But, like, when you think about facial recognition software, all you could think is either getting into a secret room or absolute evil. Those are the only options you get. What other reason would you want facial recognition?
I can use it to lock and unlock my phone.
You can unlock and lock your phone already?
Yeah, with my fingerprint, but what if I just want to look at it? And like, and then it just...
So you're saying that facial recognition is a convenience thing?
Yeah.
So what if you're like in a low light? Like what if you want to look at your phone when you wake up in the middle of the night? It's going to shine a bright ass light in your face.
Yeah, phone, because they have to have cameras too. Every fucking phone has a flashlight on it now.
So like, man, I want to check my Facebook. Like you're being fucking abducted.
Yes, because they're that powerful.
Well, if like facial recognition software needs good lighting to know what the fuck you look like, I'm gonna see you in the dark, and if it did, that's kind of scary too.
It watches you when you sleep.
What if you have sunglasses on when you want to check Facebook? What if you decided to grow a really big beard that week, somehow? Then what if you shave it off the next week?
And that facial recognition software is obsolete.
Well, the guy was saying on Big Picture Science that they can actually remove your beard digitally and then see what you look like anyway, which is a total trip. Like, how could you know the shape of someone's chin based on their beard?
Maybe it can, like, gauge the density of your hair somehow.
That's one ugly beard.
Well, like, if it can zoom in, like, super close, like, you can see, like, how many hairs are close to each other, and by that, you just extrapolate to, like, yeah, how dense your beard is.
So, like, I want to
take
find,
away this.
like, if they have, like, the VR cams in basketball, like the cameras that track everything that happens on the basketball court, then I want them to facially recognize James Harden without the beard. And I want to see, like, clips from a game where they show him playing without his beard the whole time.
That'd be pretty interesting.
That'd be the shit. It'd be hilarious.
A couple of times it's like, beard, no beard. Beard?
Or when he dunks, that's when his beard pops back out. Ew.
And as soon as I go, no more beard.
When he goes back to defense, his beard disappears again.
You see him going like this, like a bunch of times.
He's just like waving his hand in the air. No, I want to do that as like a, just like a thing I do, just like a Twitch or whatever.
What are you doing, Anthony?
Just stroking my digitally removed beard. I'm so glad we started doing video recording.
Yeah, just so you can do bits like that.
It was all worth this incredibly complex setup. But, okay, so like a specific example they used on Big Picture Science was like how they will be able to facially recognize a person from a cop car. All the cop camera has to do is face the rear view mirrors on the car, because of course anyone that gets pulled over is going to look in their rear view mirror at some point. And then they will be able to instantly capture the person's face.
Well, it won't capture your whole face. It's just like your eye line.
Well, he was explaining that that's enough for facial, like, they were basically talking about how far facial recognition has come since, like, the days where it has to just scan, like, your whole face in, like, a giant light, like I was telling you.
Yeah.
Like, they could catch people in, like, a split second when they're wearing sunglasses and have beards and hats, and like, it's really intense now. Like, I had no idea it would be that good, like, how they could recognize you from just, like, part of your face.
Yeah.
But, like, the police example he gave, like, where they just look in their rear view mirror, and then, like, you know instantly if they're, like, have a warrant or whatever or not. Like, he was saying, like, oh, that would make it, like, safer for police, and they'd be less aggressive because they know that these people don't, like, before they even walk up to the car, they would know that, you know, this is just a regular dude who has no, like, warrants or traffic tickets or whatever.
Well, yeah, and you always hear about how, like, they catch some, like, felons by just, like, stopping them for, like, a traffic violation. Turns out the guy was, like, a murderer or something. They caught him, but, like, you also hear about how sometimes they get away because, like, they don't bother to look them up. They just write them a ticket and send them off.
Yeah.
And then could have got them.
But, like, well, obviously, that's the first problem, is the database for these people. Like, if there's a wanted criminal, you have to know what he looks like first before you can use your facial recognition software to find them, you know?
So that's why you put the facial recognition in everyone's home.
And on the street, publicly, and in stores, and shopping malls.
Especially stores.
And also one giant camera that is planted on the moon to watch everybody.
It doesn't have to be on the moon, Anthony.
Fine,
you just
we'll
need
put
a
it in
satellite.
space.
Yeah. That'll work.
I do think the moon camera would be more intimidating, though.
It's like big enough to where it like makes the moon look like an eyeball.
Yeah.
Oh man, that'd be freaky. Oh, I would never sleep.
That would be very disturbing.
Especially if you get like really high. Just like,
Dude, the moon's looking back. Dude, you're just... No, you're right now. I forgot.
all of a sudden I hear a voice going, I see you.
Oh, yeah, they just installed the speakers on the moon. We are watching. We are watching.
You see some guy in a government building, like, Fred, cut it out.
Yeah, Big Brother didn't have high enough ambitions. They didn't go to the moon to watch us. Aim for the stars, big government.
Even though the moon's not a star.
Well, no, because they say, like, aim for the stars and you'll land in space somewhere. Because you're not going to reach any stars except the sun, maybe.
Yeah. You'll probably hit a couple rocks on the way.
It's dangerous out here. No one told me.
Shit flying everywhere.
Alright, but anyway, the cop one I don't think works. Because if you're a racist cop, you don't care what your facial recognition technology says. And then plus, what if the facial recognition technology is racist? Like, what if they tested on a bunch of white people's faces, and then they're running all the black and Mexicans and other minorities through the criminal system, and, like, it's able to teleport every single white person, but, like, it plans everyone else together or something, because they didn't test it on other minorities' faces. So, like, then they use the facial recognition software on every African American, and then it's like, drug dealer, pimp, wife beater, and like all these other terrible things.
Record amounts
even though
of
it's
people
just like
get arrested.
regular people, but they made their facial recognition all racist.
Like, the cops are like, man, we filled our quota for the next 10 years.
We've only arrested black people this month. How is that different from any other month?
God, I love my job.
And it's so much easier now. Now that I can arrest people without even getting out of the car. Like, they just facially recognize someone from behind and then cut in front of them and fucking tow truck them out of there. Like, they start putting
Or not
hitches on
even-
cop cars.
Not even where they put a camera, like, on one of the police dogs, and, like, when it recognizes a criminal,
Just-
it just grabs him, and he drags him to, like, a police station.
It just starts biting his leg and shit. See, well, all I'm saying is that, like, facial recognition technology isn't simply benign and automatically going to help people. People are going to use it like any other tool, and it's going to just, like, they're not going to become less racist or less violent or less about racial profiling just because they have some new technology that tells them to kind of cut it out a little.
Yeah, I see your point. But you gotta focus on the positives, Anthony.
That businesses can now recognize me anywhere and force ads on me.
No, that's not positive.
Oh, because that's the other thing you brought up.
Yeah, that's definitely something that you don't want.
So, another thing with the facial recognition technology that he talked about was that basically they had this meeting with, like, concerned citizens, I guess, like citizen groups that care about, like, privacy groups, basically, and, like, big business and these other groups that are trying to, like, make facial recognition technology. And basically they said, can we all agree that you can't use facial recognition technology in public? And all the companies like, no, we don't agree to that. And then the advocates for privacy were like, well, okay, what if a person was walking along a public street? Would you have to at least get their consent before you use your facial recognition technology on them in public. No, we don't agree to that. So they won't even agree to the fact that they need our permission to facially recognize us in public.
Well, I guess they're thinking it from the standpoint where, like, you don't need permission to put up a billboard. Like, you could just show it to everybody, whoever you want. Like, you put ads in magazines and people are going to see them. Like,
but this is, like, but they're seeing you. Not just you seeing them.
yeah, and they want to...
It's like Minority Report.
Yeah.
Like, they are,
So
like, as soon as you leave your house, they know where you're going, and they're going to put every billboard up to talk to you, specifically, I guess.
Yeah, they're going to go after the demographics.
It's like They Live. Have you seen that?
No.
Where the guy has, like, the magic glasses, and when he looks at all the billboards, it just says, like, obey and breed. Bye.
It's a movie?
Yeah, we should watch that.
Yeah, totally.
That was like an 80s movie. I think it had Roddy Piper in it.
I've heard of it. I don't know why I haven't seen it, but...
Yeah, I saw it as a kid. We should watch it. In memory of Rowdy Roddy.
Rest in peace.
It feels disrespectful to still call him Rowdy. But then at the same time, like, it should be respectful, because he was rowdy.
Yeah, that's his legacy, man.
His legacy is his rowdiness.
And we can only aspire to such rowdiness.
Is there anything else we have to cover?
Is that it for the facial recognition technology?
Yeah, that is basically...
I'm trying to think of, like, the best possible use of, like... There's got to be some way to bring it into the medical field.
The only thing I could imagine, I think your medical field comment is really good. Maybe when people have all their Google glasses and stuff, I think it would be really cool for maybe people with Alzheimer's or people with memory loss to maybe they could wear their Google glasses or whatever, and it would facially recognize a person for them. Like, say, if they can't, you know how it's so depressing when you hear about, like, someone can't recognize their own kid or their grandkids or whatever, and you would use the facial recognition software and then it would give you, like, some sort of reminder of who the person is.
Or if someone has that condition where, like, you have facial blindness, you can't even distinguish one face from another.
Yeah, like, I'm sure there's just some people who are just really bad with faces, too. Right?
No, that's a legit condition. You never heard of it?
Yeah, like...
Face blindness?
Yeah, like, I'm bad with names. Like, I could look right at a person and call them the wrong name.
Right.
So that would help me, too, I guess. This person is Frank.
Oh, yeah.
Don't you recognize me? I do now.
Thanks, Google Glasses. No, wait, it's Google Glass, right?
I don't know. Do people even use it anymore? I thought it was like a flop. Because they look stupid as shit. Plus, like, I would have to wear them over my regular glasses.
Yeah, I think they're retooling.
Plus, they're super ugly. Plus, they're super, super ugly.
Give it a couple more years, they're gonna,
Just put them in my regular lenses. And even then, I don't want to. You're gonna get, like, a fucking Facebook friend request when you're driving down the freeway.
Google lenses.
I'm on the freeway, Google! Sorry.
Didn't Skeptic guy talk about one time that they can put something in a contact lens? No.
Well, they were trying it out. They were putting, like, circuits into contact lenses.
Yeah.
But I still feel, well, maybe it would be kind of cool if you had, like, contact lenses that had circuits running through them. But it'd probably be hard to see, which is kind of the idea of contact lenses. You have a bunch of wires blocking your view.
Well, no, the nanotechnology is getting sophisticated as well, and you could, like, that'd be pretty cool to, like, have augmented reality just through your contact lenses.
Well, I don't know about nanotechnology. They keep saying it's coming, and that, like, a bunch of nanites are gonna bust into my room and turn everything into gray goo. But it hasn't happened yet.
Why would it turn in everything?
You haven't heard about gray goo?
No.
Oh, that's like such a fun theory. It's kind of like the singularity.
Oh my god.
Like, you know what the singularity is, right?
Yeah.
Where everybody's uploaded to the same, like, super hard drive.
Right. One consciousness.
Yeah. It's kind of like that, but instead of humans, it's the nanites that take over. So basically, nanites are like little nanobots or whatever. And, like, so basically, if we assume that nanobots could create more nanobots, then they would get carried away and basically turn every piece of matter into more nanobots.
Like a cancer.
Yeah. And basically, as nanobots continue to create more and more, then everything just turns into gray metallic goo because they've turned every type of matter that they can reach into more nanites.
And then they turn the Earth into
A big ball of gray goo.
That doesn't seem good.
No. It's also really ridiculous. I can't really see that kind of thing happening. Like, can't you just, hit the off button? But just like any sentient thing, like, you always assume if you put the explosion device in them, they'll figure out that it's in there and just take it out.
Well, isn't the best defense against, like, machines, electrical pulses and stuff? We always have that, right?
Yeah.
You just blast a bunch of nanites.
Just get a leaf blower.
Scrape them off. There you go. Or hose them down. Why not?
But anyway, like, just like with any other technology, there's like the evil endgame, and that's gray goo for nanites.
Wow. That's something.
Just like as soon as we build robots, they take over the Earth. Or as soon as we build intelligent AI, it becomes a singularity. Or it launches all the nuclear warheads. And not at Mars. At us.
Man, I wish I could remember who was talking. Someone was talking about it on one of the podcasts. They said they believe that humans have reached their evolutionary potential, and the only way for us to progress as a species is through our technology. And so once we get it up advanced enough to the point where we do have AI, we just, like, it become a symbiotic relationship, and that's how we end up going with the species. Like, basically everyone turns into androids or whatever.
Oh, so we're like part robot and part humans?
Or cyborgs.
Like we shove some nanites down your throat when you're born?
Yeah, that'll work, right?
Well, that's
Matrix.
fine, but it just feels very homogenous. Like, if you could, like, okay, I want my kid to be good at sports, science, art, and math, and he could also do backflips.
Well, no, in this type of future, I imagine, we're advanced past sports and even literature. It's just like everything.
Robots can play sports.
Yeah, the dumb robots.
I don't know, that takes the fun out of it. I want to see humans do things. Call me biased. I will not watch. I don't watch the Puppy Bowl.
Keep Olympics human.
What else was there about nanites and shit?
This is just like tangent.
Robots are never a tangent.
That's
They're
true.
always right up in our face.
Bean's been talking about him a lot on Kevin and Bean.
He's all obsessed with robots now.
Well, he wants sex robots. That's all he wants.
Oh, because some people were saying that we should ban sex robots.
That's right.
What?
Also, now we're gonna
Let's
talk about
build them first. And have you seen there's a cracked review of like the world's most sophisticated sex bot? It was super disturbingly creepy.
Of course, it's on crack.
But it was like really super creepy. Like with the pictures they showed of it.
Did it at least
I wish I could look
realistic?
up the quote. I gotta look this up now. No, it didn't look realistic at all. It looked like a fucking blow-up doll, but it was like 150 pounds made out of like fucking metal and plastic.
That doesn't sound sexy at all.
I'm sure it is for some people.
Oh yeah, probably Bean. If you want to.
Sex robot review cracked.
Oh.
Here it is. The first talking sex robot. A terrified cracked review. Come on, internet, don't mess with me right now.
Hey, can you see the hole in my shirt?
Look at the camera.
I'm trying to look.
Yeah, I can see it now.
Yeah.
Edit
that part out.
I have to edit a lot out.
Especially all this sex robot talk.
It was like a specific paragraph I had to fucking mention.
Memorize.
Because it's probably one of my favorite comedy paragraphs ever.
Oh, man.
So, alright. Found it. Okay. So, now that we're on the topic of sex robots, I'm sure they've come a long way in the last 5 years. But this is a review of the first talking sex robot from 2010. And the sex robot's name is Roxy.
Of course. Well, okay.
Alright, so this is what Daniel O'Brien from Cracked says about Roxy the sex robot. I won't sugarcoat this. Roxy is hideous. Just god-awful shit ugly. If someone asked me to design a statue honoring a face transplant survivor who accidentally swallowed a hive of bees, it would be Roxy. She's a cross between a wax Sarah Jessica Parker and lower jaw elephantiasis. She looks like a rubber sculpture of Miss Piggy that was microwaved. She's like a bloated Chrissy Hind dipped in butterfat. She's the solution to the paradox of, can God design a creature so hideous that even he himself is incapable of loving it?
Oh, wow.
She's a beast, is my point.
So, she's a 10?
Like a 6.
Still above average.
I'm sure she has a good personality.
I have to see this sex robot.
Alright, here's the picture of it.
That's not a very good picture.
We'll add the picture in the show too, I guess. I guess we have to now. Oh, here we go. Yeah, that is not...
She looks like special needs.
She's like, what is it? John Kerry? For his 5 o'clock, late for his 5 o'clock face melt?
What's it? Fleur!
I shouldn't be.
That's pretty disturbing.
Can they at least, I don't know, is that real hair? I guess it's creepy either way, isn't it?
Yeah.
Uncanny Valley for you. I've noticed even some people end up in the Uncanny Valley as another tangent.
What's Uncanny Valley?
Like when a robot or like computer graphics look almost real, but there's always like their eyes look dead or something and it just creeps you out. Because it's not like, basically it's a valley, right? So there's like computer graphics, and it's all cheesy like N64, PlayStation 2 bullshit until we get to like say the Xbox One and they make it super realistic and it's just super disturbing. Like you take a big dip because like you're able to believe all these kind of crappy graphics are humans.
Do you suspend this?
Yeah, like it's so unhuman that you can kind of just relate to it and understand it as like something more abstract.
Right.
But then when it reaches the human peak, it suddenly takes a huge drop off because it's so close. But it's like if you saw, what is it, Pod People or something, or like Body Snatchers, or what is it, Changelings. Like where you see a person who's like that looks like that person, but it ain't them. You try to take off their mask and shit, you know.
You just end up ripping their neck skin.
Which is actually another problem, like an actual problem people have. like, changelings are really creepy. That's like a real psychological problem people could have. That,
where you think someone is the imposter of themselves?
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard about that.
That's super creepy. Like, I'm afraid of all kinds of things going on.
Like, I know you, but you're not you. What?
And that's gotta be a very discomforting feeling, right? That's gotta be terrifying.
What are you talking about, man? Who are you?
I'm who I always was.
Of course you'd say that.
But, like, what was I gonna say? That might help with facial technology, too. Like,
well, no,
dude,
because like, of course you recognize their face. You just don't believe it.
But it would be nice to have a second opinion. That's not him. No, it's him, dude. I guess. I'll play along for now.
That's like, just like if that person was like, saw someone that they didn't believe was them, then they brought in another person and are like, yeah, that's him. Well, how do I know? You're not you.
These are my Google glasses.
It's just the same problem. It just keep perpetuating.
Yeah, I guess we need new technology for that problem.
We need like blood type recognition technology. Or you just like look at cells in your eye or something. And,
or well, like once they put
DNA.
the Google up in your brain, they'll just fix that part because like apparently like when that happens, it's because the part of your memories disconnects with your facial recognition part of your brain, so that they don't. So you'll facially recognize a person, but the memories you have of that person won't bubble to the top alongside it.
Right.
So then you're just like, that's not that person, even though it's obviously that person.
Yeah, it's pretty scary to think about.
Yeah, there's too many wires up in my brain that can snap.
Or really, it's neurons that like.
Yeah, and then there's like brain
Yeah.
fluid. What if it like dries up or gets too cold? I don't know.
It's called brain freeze.
I think that's
You
specifically
drink
how
some warm water and you'll be all good.
just dip your head in a hot bath.
Or maybe some hot oil.
Alright. Is there anything else we need to cover? Was there any podcast you want to talk about?
Well, as you know, I listen to a shitload of podcasts, so...
we still have to talk about that Stone UFO. Or Stone UFO. It could be both.
The rock UFO.
There you go.
It was in Russia.
Wait, what do you mean it was in Russia? Like the articles from Russia?
No, the rock's in Russia.
Where did the rock come from?
It didn't come from anywhere. It's been in Russia for a million
How
years.
is it from the UFO? So, someone found a funky rock. That's literally the story.
Yeah.
Dude, I would have had a news story like every single day when I was like 9. And they collected rocks.
Well, the stupidest thing is they're examining it, and they realize that they actually tested it and found that it's a million years old. So they're saying aliens came here a million years ago, and they just
Just let their shit here. let's leave some trash on Mars then. Couple of leftover nuclear warheads.
Maybe they happen to go off one day. Who knows?
All I can imagine is Mr. Burns. A bird has become petrified in midair. I believe that's a rock, sir.
We'll see what the boys down in the lab have to say about this.
Because that's really what it is. Someone just Mr. Burns did this whole article.
What if it's like two people like, holy shit, there's a fossilized alien. Dude, it's just a rock. No, look at it. It's definitely an alien. Pretty sure it's a rock.
But you're not as sure that it's a rock as I am that it's an alien. Yes, that's true. And then
There's not even any way to
he cracks
quantify
it and it's a clump of mud.
No!
We could have been rich.
You're destroying alien technology.
Some technology. Because really, like, we'll put this up in the background of the show, but, like, it's the head of a mushroom. It's the head of a wild mushroom.
They even explained it.
That's the shape of it.
Well, they explained it on Skeptic's Guide, too. This area used to, have a lot of water in it, and so it eroded the rock, and then after a while, the water receded, so there's just a smooth rock there.
So they found a river rock.
Yeah, basically. A big-ass river rock.
That's nice. I've found river rocks. Find them in the river.
You don't go telling the media about it.
I should. Apparently.
Ah, goddamn, it's stupid.
That was really, really stupid.
How?
I know, like, society's come a lot farther, especially with smartphones. Like, no one finds Bigfoot anymore, or UFOs, because those are very camera-driven. The alien people, like, proponents of aliens, they've kind of shifted from aliens are here now to aliens showed up in the past. Van Donegan, I believe that's the name of the guy. He basically wrote a book called Chariots of the Gods. And basically he just cites all kinds, like he says, like, in some ancient Sumerian text it says aliens showed up. And of course, because it's the 60s and we can't all just go Google ancient Sumerian texts.
Yeah.
Like, he got away with it. And then he built up this entire, like, weird-ass fan fiction about the history of the Earth. Until finally we get to Ancient Aliens. And Ancient Aliens is almost completely based on the book Chariots of the Gods. Of course, they have the new guy with the wacky hair. He's the new version of Van Donegan. Like, for our generation. He doesn't deserve to be named.
Fuck him.
Yeah, because all he does is ruin archaeology and history by claiming aliens.
Aliens. Stupid meme.
Right. Well, my specific UFO theory is that UFOs were showing up millions of years ago, thousands of years ago, but then when humans started dying, humans leave ghosts. And aliens are terrified of ghosts, so they stopped coming to Earth. Because humans are the only beings that can leave ghosts. So we have the most haunted planet in the universe.
Yeah, that would kind of support my theory of, like, your consciousness transferring over to another dimension when you die, and, like, people just interpret that as ghosts. Like sometimes, people say, like, the connection between the two dimensions sometimes
it's like weaker in some areas.
And so, like, you'll get disturbances that are, like, weird shit going on. So, yeah, and if, like, aliens are so advanced that they can, what am I trying to say here?
So you're saying they could travel through time and dimensions?
Well, not only that, but they can, if they're so advanced, they could observe, multiple dimensions at once. Like,
so, like, an alien's on Earth and it sees a ghost, like, I'll be right back. He hits, like, a button on his alien iPhone and he switches dimensions, punches a ghost out.
Yeah.
Stay out of my dimension.
And that's why you don't see any old
That's why you don't see ghosts anymore. All the aliens beat the shit out of them.
And then took off.
This is my dimension. That's my dimension. All my dimensions.
You can't have any of it.
We run this multiverse.
Or maybe the aliens just, like, saw how horrible human beings can be by, like, killing each other and, like, raping each other. Like,
no, they found out how fun it is, so they started killing us too and probing us. Oh no, they're all doing it. see what the fuss is about. That's why they kill our cows
Like, imagine the aliens are talking to us, like, when in Rome, right? What? We've never been to Rome.
Oh, man, our human notes are all wrong. There is a place called Rome on Earth, though, right? Nah. Mm-hmm. Maybe that's the problem. They landed and met all those hicks first, and then they got all the wrong notes about Earth, and now they don't even know what they're doing.
Like, screw this place. Meanwhile, we have Copernicus and fucking Sartre.
They're all idiots. I don't know how he got that tractor.
Oh, man.
Yeah, some other aliens probably showed up. Gave them tractors for some reason. Well, I don't know. It's always fun to try to rationalize aliens and stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, I'll accept that aliens are real, and I'll accept that your giant rock is actually a UFO. So let's try to figure out how it happened. And my theory is that whatever technology the aliens used is incompatible with the Earth's atmosphere, so as soon as they hit the atmosphere, the UFO completely rusted over and crashed. 1,000,000 years ago. And then was found by some yokels in Russia. Do you think that those two dudes were like one of them was constantly finding alien rocks? And like his friend just finally was like, well, that one does actually look like a UFO. Fine, whatever.
I'll take it.
Man. Fine, we'll stop though now, right? Like he was pulling out like regular, like ugly, misshapen rocks. UFO rock. No, dude, that doesn't. No, it wasn't even your best try.
Hey, come here! Look at this alien bush.
Look at this alien soil. And breathe this alien air.
Hey, man, watch out for my alien cat.
Nah, dude. Get away! I don't care where it's from.
He's like, oh man, I'm allergic to cats. No, you're allergic to aliens.
You've got the magic nose. We'll unravel this whole plot now. Like, you're shoving your friend in front of government officials waiting for him to sneeze.
Oh, man.
Like you sneeze when Barack Obama goes by in a parade or something.
Alien! It would seem that hackers today can do just about anything they want, from turning on the cell phone in your pocket to holding your life's work hostage. Cybercriminals today have more sophisticated tools, have learned to work collaboratively around the world, and have found innovative ways to remain deep undercover in the internet's shadows. This episode, we shine a light into those shadows to see the world from the perspectives of both cybercrime victims and perpetrators. First, we meet mother-daughter duo Alina and Ina Simone, who tell us about being held hostage by criminals who have burrowed into their lives from half a world away. Along the way, we learn about the legally sticky spot that unwitting accomplices like Will Wheeler find themselves in. Then, reporter and author Joseph Menn tells us about the surprisingly lucrative professional hacker structure in places throughout the former Soviet Union. Finally, the co-creator of one of the most notorious online marketplaces to ever exist speaks to us. The podcast opened up with the two chicks. The two ladies, this lady, she has like a really thick Russian accent. She's like speaking broken English. She's telling a story about how like one day like she tried to go on her computer, all kinds of pop-ups started coming up, and like she basically got a virus, right? and then she started getting messages from people saying, "We have taken over your files, and we will not." Well, they encrypted all their files in the computer and said, "We'll give you all your files if you pay us." What did they want? They wanted like $1,500 or something like that. But the thing is, they wanted it in Bitcoins because, of course, they're cyber criminals. So like, and this lady was all freaking out about like getting her files because like apparently they had like a lot of their tax information on the computer. So like it was stuff that's worth like way more than, you know, I actually think they wanted $500. Yeah, pretty sure it was $500. So like, she like basically has to go on this trek to like get money to find some place that they talk about this place that she went to exchange her money into Bitcoins, and like they talked to some guy from this company. He said, yeah, it sucks that the way people get introduced to our company is by like all these cyber criminals asking for ransom, and then they come to us, like looking for help. Like it's a bad first impression, I guess. Shit like that.
Have you tried Bitcoins? I kind of have to.
Yes, I know all of them. Like, what is it? She started freaking out because like they gave her a deadline, like it was something like 3 days.
Yeah, 24 American hours.
Oh no, they put a time on the computer. Like, I think it was 3 days to 70 some hours. I was counting down, and like, when she finally paid them off, like, she contacted them and said, "I paid it. Why are my files still encrypted?" And like, they said, "You paid late." Because
so like, they're just gonna keep charging her?
Well, no, like they just, I forgot what happened.
They just destroyed her shit anyway?
No, they kept it for a little while, but then like after a while, I guess they got the money finally, and then they went away basically.
So they just show up and act like dicks?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. So they started talking about hackers on Radiolab, and the thing that freaked me out, like you always hear about like how like the government can turn on your phone whenever they want and
listen whenever they want.
Yeah, and like I always kind of believed it, but now hearing shit like this, it makes me like more worried about it. Like shit.
Yeah, I've read some articles about it and stuff, like the how entrenched it really is. Yeah. And yeah, like Google's a great company. I'll say that as long as anyone has a phone near me.
Yeah. Well, the really fucked up thing they talk about too is like they talk about how to because they started doing spam, and like after a while people caught on, they're able to block the spam. So what they did is they went to because to block the spam, they would get their ISPs or no their
ISP is Internet Service Provider.
Okay, no, what's it called where they can basically like your
IP address?
Yeah, IP address. There you go. Because they would tag their IP address as like spam, the guys had to go and find clean IP addresses. So they'd go onto someone else's computer without them knowing about it. Like they'd go on like what they said, like maybe an hour in the middle of the night when you're asleep, use your IP address to send out spam, and then get out of it, and you'd never know. So like what guys started doing is were able to get like multiple computers online, and you can basically like send them all to one site, crash a site, like, or crashing websites like that, and like got like, fuck, I forgot what they called it. They're, he could like crash anybody, take down anyone's internet. Like,
well, those are called DDoS attacks, denial of service. Basically, since we all pay for our bandwidth, basically they have so many computers and they all send it to the website at the same time that it overloads all the bandwidth, and so the person you're paying bandwidth to, the host of the site, usually you'll shut it down because it's using so much bandwidth. It'll automatically shut down.
Yeah, but they had another name for it though. I forgot what it was. But yeah, that was basically it. And the guy said like this guy was such an asshole that sometimes like he'd be playing online games and like he'd be like threatening people, like shutting down their internet. Sometimes he would do it, like just like if he didn't like someone, some shit like that.
So he was like.
And this was like, I think you were talking about like early 90s or mid 90s.
Yeah, well, the work, I think, well, I refer to them as like work machine kind of viruses, the one you mentioned earlier, where they basically just use your computer to do their work for them.
Yeah.
Like, I don't like those ones. That's scary, because then the FBI is going to bust in and arrest you or something.
Oh, like, they even talked about on the podcast, like, how people start companies with hackers, and like they basically they basically turn into like corporate hacking, and like they get people who can develop hacking software and tools to like stuff that'll like steal people's credit cards and shit like that.
Yeah.
And like,
did you hear about the whole Ashley Madison thing?
Yeah.
How apparently they weren't even like fake. Like, there weren't even, like, real women on the site?
I didn't hear about that. I just heard that they exposed, like, users of the website.
Yeah, but then, like, it turned out there were only, like, 1,000 actual women on the site compared to, like, millions of men.
Yeah.
So now it just looks like some depressing fantasy.
That's pretty fucked up.
Because your wife's still mad at you.
Okay. Yeah, so Dark Code was this website. They talked to the guy who was
like invented it?
No, he was who had all the botnets and would be a jerk and like some kind of hacker lingo that they use, and he said Script Kitty is someone who just buys other people's software and just uses it to do stuff, and they don't really write code themselves.
So like
they probably know
like a middleman.
They barely know enough to screw around on the internet. But like this guy, he started learning from other people, and he got into it so much that he got together with this other guy, and they said, let's make this site where it's invite only, and we can make it for people who like really know what they're doing. And eventually they started bringing in people who would buy and sell stuff, like if you want to buy software or if you want to sell software, shit like that. Basically like the dark web, like supermarket or something.
So then you can buy all your evil codes?
Yeah, pretty much. Or like if you want to buy like I said, credit card numbers.
Well, one thing I want to talk about, have you been hacked? Like, you haven't even had a computer, so you've never been hacked before, right?
No, I don't think I've been hacked.
Like,
My phone hasn't been hacked.
I think phone hacking is pretty rare.
Yeah.
It's actually easier.
You have to have something important on your phone too.
Naked pictures? Everyone has those.
Naked pictures. pictures.
The naked pictures I have is from the internet.
Well, I
No
want to make
actual
a
women,
picture.
just from the internet.
I don't know if these women really exist. So I was telling Anthony, we were talking about this this website that started up. It's basically like Amazon for hackers.
Yeah.
But it's invite only, so like they're very selective. You have to display your hacking
Hacker
abilities. Basically, yeah, you can show what you can bring to the site,
Yeah.
or like there'll be people who go there that want to buy like something specific to do. Like people were ransoming other people's computer. They could go in.
Like in the deep web?
Yeah, you could go in. They could buy the software to go into someone else's computer, encrypt all their files, and then tell them you have to pay me so much money to get all your files back. Basically, it's really fucked up. So, like I was saying, this guy who's co-creator of it, like he wanted to get out of it because it was getting so big and people were doing so many fucked up financial crimes. Like he left in 2009, he said. And he said a year later, the FBI came knocking on his door, and he said he couldn't really talk too much about what happened, but he said, I've been cooperating with the government and will continue to cooperate with the government.
He's probably helping them hack somebody else. Big
Probably.
time guy.
I'm like,
Dude probably has the gun while he's doing the podcast.
You know?
FBI agents like standing there.
Poking
next
him
to
with the...
No,
Speak
they,
into the microphone.
yeah, so this, they talked to him in 2010, and they said since then, well, actually it happened this year that I didn't even know about. This year, they said they busted 28 people from that website, and they played a clip from the FBI. They said, we have effectively, bashed the Hornet's nest and are in the process of arresting the Hornets.
Taking out Mama Hornet.
And so, like, the reporters are saying, like, they were able to take down the site and arrest all these people, but then 2 weeks later, the site's back up. So, like, they basically couldn't stop it.
Oh, yeah, basically. I'm sure someone has the software to run the website.
Yeah. And,
All you do is change, like, the URL or whatever, and you're back in business.
yeah. Well, didn't they do that with that Pirate Bay? Bullshit?
Yeah, Pirate Bay went down, but now if you Google Pirate Bay, you could just find a bunch of fake
Alternate.
Pirate Bays that work just as well.
Yeah.
And the same thing for like a bunch of other torrent websites. So yeah, like that saying that once something's on the internet, it's never off the internet.
That's pretty
Very
much true.
true.
Yeah. Scary shit.
You can still find Kim K's sex tape.
I'm sure that's really easy. Like sex tapes are probably very easy to find.
It's on every porn website.
Don't look up Paris Hilton. It's just black and green.
She's got those creepy eyes.
Oh, I love it. So it first turned me on to sex tapes, celebrity sex tapes.
Yeah.
With eyes.
So you need a little
Boy,
star
guys.
power to get into it? I don't know about this porn thing, but as soon as you bring famous people into it, I think it's going to sell.
Yeah.
I think it's yeah, exactly.
Has to have some kind of allure to it.
I don't want to see regular people having sex.
I'd be like watching my mom.
I'm a regular person. I can go have sex.
Where can I get sex?
And I've recorded myself. It's I'll stick to the...
Where can I get sex while recording myself?
Girls don't like it when you want to use multiple cameras.
They don't like in the cut.
So yeah, when they were talking about this website, I'm like, it's kind of hard to talk about it, of course, because we're
gonna get hacked.
Yeah, well, because we have our phones here when we're on the fucking internet now. But like, they're talking about, a lot of people are doing stuff like the anonymous group. You can do stuff to just like send messages and like take down bad people even. Like, you can do a lot of shit on the internet now.
Well, it's always hard to define what a bad person is.
Yeah.
When you have a big hate mob ready to ruin their lives.
Yeah. That's tough. And it makes me think like how little do you need to, like, do some real damage in the world?
Not much, apparently, now that you can do so much digital damage.
Yeah. What an age to be alive.
And also to extort people.
Yeah. No shit. Don't like your boss? You just hack his phone and blackmail him.
There's that too.
But then you have to see his nude pictures too.
Yeah. I want to see that shit.
No, my favorite part of
Just
my
assume there's nude pictures in there and blackmail him and hope for the best.
day. There's always that technique.
So yeah, basically, to end this segment, their internet's fucked up.
And that's what you learned from the podcast? And that's what you learned from Radio Lab?
Yes.
Anyone could have told you that.
I had to learn it for myself.
Thanks for listening to the Bystanders podcast. Subscribe to us on YouTube at youtube.com/gamemusicforall. You can find links and show notes from today's episode at thebystanderspodcast.com. Follow us on Instagram at The Bystanders Podcast and on Twitter at TBS Podcast. And you can support the show by subscribing to us at patreon.com/Genoboots. That does feel like the problem sometimes. We invent shit super fast, and then when someone's like, hey, shouldn't we think about the ethical implications of this? Shut up, we're doing science! You're just holding us back with all your concerns and care for the human race.
Let's see what this baby can do.
You're just mad because I invented the double chainsaw gun.
What applications does it have?
Getting rid of you.
It's the worst science ever.
Who funded this?